editing live stream where you can submit your images before the stream starts, and then I edit them here live for you. And uh, um, wow, sorry, I'm still cold. I wish spring would get here faster. Uh, but yeah, I'm going to use DxO Photolab 8 today, and I do have my affiliate links down below if you'd like to download a free trial. And if you purchase it, eventually I will get a commission, but there is a 15% discount code, I believe, down there. So you can save a few bucks that way. And your support is greatly appreciated. And I try to do these every week so that, excuse me, you can learn hopefully some of the techniques and tools that are available in DxO Photolab 8 so you can get up to speed very quickly. I find it to be the best photo editor out there, in my opinion. And I think I'm going to try and do a video today about stitching panoramas together. So one second. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. Um, okay, so I got about 8 images in today, and then several edits. Excuse me, because I also provide uh, an image that you can download one of mine and edit mine. And if you get a chance, upload the edit of your image, while I'm editing, and then we'll do a comparison of your edit compared to mine. It's always fun to see what you guys did. A lot of the times, your edit is much better than mine because you took the picture and you had your vision for the image, and it can be very different than what I saw. And usually, I don't see the right thing to focus on or the light and shadows that you guys wanted to emphasize. So I'm always impressed by what you guys do with your own editing. And okay, so I see Jeff's here. Paul, good to see you. And Shakave, good morning. And Roger, good to see you. And oh, Erna has a quick question here. How do you make autofocus continuous in OM1? Seems like every time you have to press the AF button. Yeah, there's it. I don't believe it has a continuous autofocus where the autofocus stays active while you're uh, holding the camera on. So if that's what you were trying to do, I don't think that's possible. And I don't think it's ideal to have that kind of setting, mainly because it just drains the battery. Uh, but I know other cameras do that. I'm trying to think. I think my Sony does it, and my Canon, and even my my Lumix and Leica cameras. A lot of cameras do it, but OM System seems like they did not allow that for photography. Now in video, it does do continuous autofocus. Uh, even if you're not recording the video, and I'm not sure if that can be turned on or off. I don't use video that much, but I think I hope that answers your question. But I'll double check later to see if there is an option to turn that on. Because I know the older OM system cameras or Olympus cameras did have that feature in the menu where you could activate continuous focusing even though you're not half pressing or pushing the AF on button. But I think they removed it in the OM1. But I'll double check. It's a feature that even if it was available, I would keep it off just because I don't like to drain the battery. I also typically turn Wi-Fi off, put it in airplane mode, these kind of things to extend battery life. Yes, there is a way to make the red light not blink when it's autofocusing. I can't remember the exact setting, but I will try and address that today. I wanted to do the photo editing. uh, Gosh, where is that in the menu? Let me just take 30 seconds. I'm sorry. I believe it's in the wrench menu, or no, it's in the AF menu. So it's in the AF menu, page 3, and it's called the AF Illuminator, and you just turn that on or off. And I'll just check real quick if there's a continuous autofocusing. No, there's no continuous autofocusing separate that I can find right now. But I'll look again. You never know where they might tuck something like that away, right, in the menu. Okay. Let's see. I have all my windows open. Let me see if I can remember how to switch. There we go. So first image here is the it looks like a bust with some bubble gum. That's cool. What would I do here? This one is from Bert. I think we just need to bring up the exposure a little. And maybe add a vignette to sort of emphasize a little bit more. So I'm going to apply basic preset, which is just optical corrections and denoising. And everything looks nice and level, straight. That looks good. But let's see if I do perspective. Okay, that looks a little better. And what I'm going to do is just brighten up this part. I'm going to tighten the luma just a little bit. Let's just bring the exposure up, just so this stands out more. I'm going to go full 2 stops here, and then what I'm going to do is pull the overall exposure down about 1 stop. See how that looks. Okay. A little more, just to bring more emphasis on the front. And let me go back to the local adjustment. Bring it up a little more. Let's bring up her shadows a bit. And then see how I'm doing. I'm just going to do a quick compare. Okay, good. Let's bring a little more color into this bubble gum. Reduce the chroma mask. I'm getting a little bit too much there. Okay, and I'd like it to be a little more pink because the image is, I don't know what color this bust is. Let me see if I adjust the white balance. It's a little bit too warm still. Maybe something like that. And we have basically light coming straight down. The lighting is already, yeah, it'd be too hard to shift the lighting. Let me add just a little more light to the eyes. A little bit of clarity. Or clear view. Okay, and I think that's all I can do here. If black and white would, I mean, I hate to lose the color of that that bubble gum, but I could maybe do a partial color. That might be fun. Let's do a partial color. I think what I can do, I've never tried this, honestly, but if I desaturate the entire image, and because I have this local control point on the bubble gum, let's see if I can make this a little bit more interesting. I want to do maybe do it this way. Okay, and then let's add a vignette. I'm just going to pick somewhere in the middle here and invert that. Take the chroma and luma mask down. Just pull this in. Okay, I need to expand this a bit. Okay, and just a control line down here. Can give that a little bit. I don't know, just a little bit of a reflection down here. Keep that going. Okay, I think that's it. So we can just do a before and after. Whoops, that's a photo I was working on earlier. Make that the reference. Wait, to compare it. There we go. So there's the before and after. Yeah, I think it works in black and white. And then keeping the bubblegum red just makes it a little more fun, maybe. It's a little bit too strong here. I would back this off a little. Maybe just a bit. Okay. So yeah, that's a little better. Okay. Thank you, Bert, for sending that. Let's see what else we got in here. Got one here from Lasse. And nice little park here, looks like, on a lake. So let's see, no clouds in the sky. A little bit of a structure here, like somebody lives on the water. Tree, and then we have a tree line, some leaves. When I look at an image, I always try to see all the information and things that are in the picture, because it's always stuck to my mind. I can't remember what photographer is quoted, but you're responsible for everything in the frame. And so I always look at everything in the frame to see what I want to keep or not keep, or how do I keep them all together and still look okay as part of the composition. And I need to do a little bit of horizon leveling, just a couple degrees off. Lasso always sends me the hardest ones. Okay. Uh, and then the light it's kind of morning light, I think. It's coming in this way from the right. So I'll see if I can emphasize that. Compositionally, so did I apply preset? Not yet, probably. Go to my local adjustments. And I'm gonna lower the chroma and luma. Maybe not. Let's see what we get if we pull the chroma back. I'm going to use the luma just to narrow the light to the brightest parts. Increase that. Let's give it some warmth. We get sort of that morning golden hour kind of look. I tightened the luma mask even just a little more. All right. Oh, let me straighten this out a little bit while I'm at it. Like it's just a little bit off. About there. Okay. I don't think I need this bottom part, so I try a wide crop. Not sure I even need much on the right side there. Yeah, that kind of groups all of the elements together, I think. So, because we have the bench, trash can, this structure, and these trees. And we have the lighting coming in. Work with that lighting a little bit more. Just pull it in. Go right there. And I'm going to try and, if I can bring the water in a little bit. So give it some clear view, micro contrast. Okay. And that's just a bit too warm, so I'm going to pull it back a little bit cooler. I think I'll make this side a little bit darker. Just the gravel maybe, not the leaves. So I'm masking out the color so that the leaves don't get affected, but I want to darken sort of this gravel. Uh, Probably do it the other direction. No, I can't do that. Okay, so we'll do it here. Let's do a linear pull. I like that better. What about color temperature? What if we pull it back? Okay, that looks good. If just extend that just a little more. Not going to have too much effect because I made a pretty tight chroma mask, but if I back this off, yeah, no, I don't want to affect the leaves. The leaves that really stand out. Okay. And if I can do a little bit more with the leaves, I'm going to go down here to my color picker. Probably mostly yellow in here, so that's going to be a problem. Yeah. A little bit of reds. So let's stretch this out. Yeah. There we go. Make it everything nice and warm. Okay. So I'm not just affecting the leaves, but also all the reds and yellows kind of everywhere in the scene. I push the greens a little bit, or maybe pull them back. No need to do that. And I'll just put a couple of dabs of light on the trees. Just a little bit in the front. A little bit of clear view. And let's pull the light back in a couple of places. Here. Here. All right. I think I'll call it there. So uh yeah, there's the original on the left. And I just made it warmer. I think I saw a comment here that how the sun is low in October. That's interesting. Uh but looks like more like morning. Okay. That's interesting. Um yeah, I just wanted to warm it up and make it look more like morning, I guess. If it's not morning, I'm just trying to make it look more like morning because that's what I thought it was. And in a couple of places that felt appropriate. Uh And then the water got too warm, so I backed off the white balance here just to keep it a little bit more separate from the rest of the seam. And like I said, I don't think this part down here we needed so much or too much over here. And then of course this sky is pretty plain, so just cropping in, but trying to maintain some balance to the overall composition. But I think that looks pretty good. Okay, thank you, Leslie, for sending that one. Let's see what else we got. Hey, we got a duck from Paul. Okay, just needs a little bit of straightening. And let me apply a preset first. Straighten this out. It's always hard when there's fences and trees at the same time. Because trees aren't always straight, but neither are fences, so it's hard to pick, right? Which one you want to kind of make the image look straight. So I'm going to use the fence. And I kind of like this fence line. I like how this bird is being framed inside here. This is a really nice shot. I just need to make it a little bit tighter. Maybe like that. A little bit off the top, maybe. I want to maintain this framing, the fence and the trees around the duck. Okay. All right, so let's just brighten the duck. I'm going to try this masking tool. I think they're going to improve this masking tool in the next version. So it'll be like Photolab 9, which, probably will be in October, November timeframe. This is the weakest tool in Photolab 8. It's not great at really selecting the I mean, no software is, to be honest, even Photoshop. Photoshop's a little better at it, but so let me exaggerate this. I mean, it didn't do bad. What I'm going to do now is just going in with the eraser and just feather it around the edges. Sometimes I get a little bit of a halo when I use this tool. Okay, that's actually the duck's feathers in there. I thought maybe it was, no, that might be. Yeah. Getting a little bit too much halo in here. If I just erase this area altogether. Oops, my opacity. Okay, I'll come back to it. I'm just trying to fix the edges. This one's not so bad. Okay. All right, so back this off. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of brightness. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll work with this separately with some control points. Something like that, and then use a Luma mask. And just brighten these back up like that. think the tail needs just a little bit more on its own. Okay, let's work with the eyes. Add in clear view, micro contrast. So birds is always eyes, beaks, and talons for me. So I'm going to work with the beak here, tighten up the color mask or chroma, make it a little brighter, a little more contrast and clear view. And I think the feet are okay, or the talons, or webbed feet. I don't know if you would say ducks have talons or if they just have feet. Okay, so that's good. All right, let me just darken the image a little bit. The hair. Oops, excuse me 1 second. I'm sorry. Hello? Yeah. Oh, I don't think so. Okay. All right, thanks. Okay. All right. Okay, bye. Sorry about that. Hopefully I muted the mic. I don't know if you guys heard that. My mom called. Okay, so let me warm the image up a little bit. And I'm going to do it from this direction. Sorry about that. Uh, my bad. I wasn't paying attention to the screen. I don't know why it does that sometimes. It just goes blue, but hopefully you guys are still here. Okay, so here's my edit of the duck, and I just cropped a little bit. I like the framing, as Paul was saying, and I think I lit up the eyes, maybe just a hair too much. But overall, the main thing was just to bring the duck out from the background because the scene is a little dark and a little cool. So I just warmed it up, cropped in, and I think we're good now. Okay. Uh, let's go back to the album. Thank you, Paul. Nice shot. And we have one here from Michael. Oh, let's edit this one. This is pretty much done. It just needs a little bit of polish. Let me apply a basic preset. There's not much to do here. Let's see if I can maybe get rid of that. Just make it a little tighter. Even, let me see. Might be too tight. Just don't like the left arm there. But I don't think I can crop it. Okay, we'll leave it. Then all we need to do is maybe just add a little bit of pop here in the center, particularly the reds. Let's give a little push, a little bit of push on the vibrance. Maybe do the same thing with the ball. Just make it that. I'm sorry, I don't know why it keeps doing that. I don't know why the screen keeps flipping over to blue. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna add some clear view to the ball or balloon. Just give it some contrast, maybe. That. Okay. All right, I think that's all I need to do here. So yeah, this is my edit. Wait a minute. Hold on. Compare, no corrections. Okay, so yeah, my edit here on the right, I just cropped out this left corner and brighten up the ball and the face a little bit, just to give it a little more pop and attention on the two most interesting parts. And that's it. It's a nice shot as is, really. I could maybe give it a little more pop on the face. Add another half a stop there. Yeah. That's all that needs. So nice shot. Okay. Let's go to next one. Okay, Shakabe has sent in a landscape. Oh, I've seen this landscape before. You're a little bit closer in instead of, I think the last one was further back. Hmm. So we do have a little bit of blue sky. We got some nice lines coming in from the mountains or some layers here and a crisscross. This feels a little bit off on the horizon. Like it needs leveling, but I'm not 100%. But I think based on the water here, it looks like it needs a little bit of leveling. Let me just do a perspective thing here and see if that, yeah, that works. What did I lose? Not much. Okay, that feels better. There's really, it felt like two things going on. There's a horizon problem, but also sort of a yaw and pitch kind of distortion. It's usually hard to spot in a landscape, but I could really feel it here. It just felt like your camera was kind of tilted a little bit the wrong way. Could be wrong. Okay, so let's see what we got in the sky. It's up here, tighten up the luma. And not that much. You make the luma mask too tight, you start to get haloing. Let's see if we can bring the clouds in. Maybe we can push the blue. Lift it a little bit lower. Okay. Something pulling in the highlights would work. A little contrast. Tiny bit. Okay. All right, let's do something with the water next. Because landscapes for me, it's like water, skies, horizon, these kind of things I look for when I do landscapes. We're gonna make the water nice and strong here. Bring this in a little bit. I smooth that out a bit. Leave that as is. Maybe cool it off a tiny bit. Just about 100, 200. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna separate the lighting here a little bit. Uh, maybe a very, very low flow, low opacity brush. A little less feathering. Bring this in. Bit lower flow. Give that a little more contrast. Okay. A little bit up here. Okay, and then we'll do one more brush. Or just the lighter areas here. And just give it a little warmth. A little more contrast. Okay. There, now it looks like the light's kind of hitting here and here. We just need a little dabs of light to hit on the grass. Oops, not with a brush, but let's use a control point. Just very small ones. Give it a slight push. Highlight some midtones. Maybe a little bit on the rocks. I'm going to do the rocks separate. I just want to get a little bit of the grass. That's too strong. Okay, and clear view and some micro contrast. And I'll just do a tiny bit on the rocks. But maybe with just clear view. Yeah, I like that. Maybe a little pull here and a little push here. Later. Grass needs push. Make these a little warmer. I want this to match the foreground a little more. Okay. I think that's it. So compare with, yeah, we just compare directly without exporting. So yeah, it was mainly this. I could be wrong about this, but this feels crooked to me a little bit. And it's not so much the horizon, but more of a pitch or yaw that's making the water look like it's crooked because everything else looks okay. But yeah, a nice little crop to this corner coming down the water. Maybe even a 16 by 9 might look good on this too. Um, there's a couple of people here I maybe should have highlighted a little more, but I think that looks a little better. Pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. Okay, and a couple of you are sending in your edits of your image, so I'll pull those up in a second. I just have a couple more here I have to get through. Okay, let's see. This one is from Jeff. So yeah, I have strong backlighting again. Gosh, I'm surprised you were able to get the deers exposed properly without. You were just an aperture priority. Interesting. Oh, center weighted metering. So you probably metered right in here. That makes sense. Otherwise, I feel like these deer should have been silhouetted. So we have a little bit of foreground blur. I think I'll keep this corner. And it's already framed pretty well. I don't think I need to reframe it. I just need to bring the highlights in the background down. So let's do a basic preset. And let me just see what a global push here does. A bit of a pull. I'm going to have to work with that separately. But yeah, this a little bit of push here, a little bit of clear view to deal with that. And then do a linear or a control line. Just on the highlight areas. So I'm going to tighten up the Luma mask. Ooh, I wish I'd erase. I tighten up the chroma. Yeah, this might look a little weird because I can't separate the deer quite as well as I was hoping. Okay. I just wanted to see how far I could go. I'm going to pull that back. And the question is, do I saturate this more or do I desaturate? Yeah, I'm going to saturate that. And then maybe I can pull the vibrance or the luminance down a tiny bit across this range. Okay. That might be the best I can do without yeah, that's starting to look a little bit unnatural. So okay. If I soften it, yeah, that works. All right, so let's work with the deer. I'm just going to bring these eyes back in. Contrast. Because the mask for the background is bleeding into the deer, I'm being really aggressive with the control points to these local adjustments on the deer. And the nose, let's do their nose too. Okay, and then I'm going to pull the color back as I increased the color in the background. And as I was saying, it was bleeding over into the deer. I'm gonna, let's see if I do a vibrancy. Yeah, that looks okay. Let's push. Okay. See where I'm at. Okay, I kind of like the contrast here. I want to bring some of that back. Let's do it this way. Just some eyes back. Okay. Maybe not so much there. All right, let me export this. We'll do a comparison. Okay, so my edit there on the left and the original on the right. So as I kind of mentioned earlier, the exposure is not too bad considering the very strong backlighting. So all I had to do is get the backlighting, to not be so plain and too bright. So but a lot of it's clipped too. So I just had to, anyway, I did the best I can. I increased the color and brought the exposure down a little. And then the deer in the front, my initial edit was a little bit too soft, so I brought sort of the shadow areas back into the base of the image, but not up here, because if I did it up here, I think it would look a little unnatural. And then I just wanted to make sure that the deer's faces were nice and visible. Like this one's a little bit too dark here. But other than that, yeah, I think that's a decent edit, keeping the image looking relatively natural and not over processed, but bringing out the highlights, bringing the highlights down and bringing the faces of the deer into the frame. Okay, thank you for sending that one. And we got one more here. Download the optics module. We have an OM1 with a 7518. Tell him I've never used my 7518 with my OM1. That's possible. That is possible. I've never done that. I've used it on my other cameras, but I mean, it's a great lens. I just don't use it very much. Okay. So I think this one is just a close-up, right? So we're going to do a square crop. And maybe come in even tighter. We don't need so much bark. Something like that. Let's bring in a little bit of light. Let me try a control line. bring that up. Oh, let's bring that down. Okay. And maybe cool it off a tiny bit. So we're at 59. Let me go to 55. There. Something like that, 56. And then we'll do another control line just for the yellows and greens that are in this plant. I'm going to try and mask that the best I can. Let's see. That's pretty good there. And we'll just tighten it up here. Just the chroma. Okay. We'll illumine back a bit. Brighten that and give it a little warmth. Just a couple of hundred. Okay. Highlights more. And shadows. And there's a little bit of red in here. That's a nice complementary color to green. I'm going to try and magnify that. That. Uh, just push the with a little more light. Maybe just 100 Kelvin here. Okay, couple hundred. I think that's it. Yeah, so just very minor edits today. So there's the original. This is my edit on the right. I think the square crop works, and just tightening it up a bit so we can see more details in the bark. The close-up of this, there's, now you can see a little bit of webbing in here. And then separating the light and the colors. So we have sort of these greens and yellows here with these reds and oranges. I wanted to amplify these two colors and then cool off everything else into the, bluer tones. Already pretty nice and blue down here, so I just had to do a little bit more up here. I think that's it. Okay. So let me pull in the edits that you guys, some of you said you sent some images in. My okay. I wonder if I can just show it here like this. So here is the edit that Lasse did to his own image. He went with a vertical, so he had kind of the same idea, right? Like get rid of like this gravel. And you didn't keep the trees, but you got rid of this side. So okay. I still feel like the horizon's a little bit crooked though. Just maybe a little bit of a tilt, and that would finish this edit altogether. Okay. I mean, it could be just the bench here is crooked and leaning on the hill, which would make sense, right? But it still feels a little bit off here with this line. Yeah, I think a little tilt, and I would like this a lot better. Okay, but very nice. And then this one is Shakabe's edit. Oh wow, okay. So a little bit of contrast here, right? You have the foreground kind of soft, and then the background looks like you added a little clarity or sharpness to it. And good job on the sky. Pretty much the same thing there. So let me let me put these side by side. Put it in here. Okay. So we'll compare this with that. All right. So yeah. Okay. So there's this is Lasse's edit. This was my edit. So yeah, very very different approach, right? Very different. Okay. And then this one. Oops. This is okay. That looks like mine. Where did your capes go? Dude, did that not your version not download? Download. It's there. Why am I not seeing it? That's mine. Oh, I think, yeah, there's yours. Okay. Okay, so wow, very, very similar. You did straighten the horizon out just the same. Uh, Guys look really similar. You want a little, yeah, so you just did a little more work back here than I did. I opted to just kind of keep it the same without, you opted to bring the details in. Okay, very nice. But this is interesting. You soften the front. Is mine soft too? Let me look. Looks like you soften the front a little bit. Or maybe it's just you used a different editor. I think you're using Darktable, right? So maybe it didn't process the same. But okay, very nice. So let's go to uh, my image that you guys edited, and then I'll go back to the chat and we'll go through that. Okay, so I think, where's mine? This is the original image. And okay, so here's an edit done by, oh, Jeff. Jeff, okay, cool. Really, really made this nice orange glow. I like that. So it almost feels like sunlight. like a halogen light coming down on her. Uh, okay, that's interesting. It doesn't quite feel like sunlight. It feels more like a halogen light being shined onto her, compared to compared to the original here, which is unedited. This is just the raw image, right? And then this one here is from Marcel. Marcel's always good at light painting, but you made this more of a poster. The prince in the showgirl. I am not a prince, but thanks. Very nice edit, Marcel. You always do a good job with the light painting. Um, and let's see, this one, yeah, this one is from Bert. Okay, so Bert got rid of the background, just blurred it out with some bokeh. Uh, okay, very nice. That looks pretty good. It looks a little stretched out or elongated though, but that could just be my eyes deceiving me. It looks a little taller on the right. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because you cropped in tighter. That's cool. Okay. And then, wow. Okay, Paul. A white vignette and blew out the background. So instead of blurring it out, you kind of went with saturated color and highlights. So you really upped the contrast on both the colors and the light. I mean, kind of across the board, but less so on the subject itself. So that's a nice way to edit. I think that works. Okay. What's interesting is you and Jeff, and a lot of you, decided not to make this dress white and really emphasize the warm tones in that. And then, oh, this is also by Paul. So this black and white, yeah, I'm partial to black and white, but that's a great edit there in black and white. I think I did something similar, but not as nice as this. Um, but okay, yeah, that looks good. And then this one here, oh, this is very similar to what I think Bert was doing by blurring out the background. But I think Bert did a partial color too, whereas you kept the color and in fact really added some dramatic tone to the Marilyn Monroe there. Okay. Let's see. This one is from Shakabe. Okay, this is nice. This is a very much more natural like edit, right? Where you're crushing the blacks. By natural, I mean it doesn't look over processed. I think you did a good job here. Still making it look natural, but you definitely got rid of, a lot of the background and foreground by making them black and then maintaining the subject at a similar luminance, right? That looks good. Let's see. This one also from Chicay, black and white. Yeah, I like black and white better, but I think the processing here is just a heavy vignette versus in the other image, I feel like you were pulling the blacks a little more with the vignette. But I like this one. And then Jan, let's see. Ooh, really, really put a shine on her mouth there, made her teeth very, very white. But I like the white balance treatment overall, the color treatment, keeping the subject nice and bright and more like the dress looks more white rather than sort of this tan. I wouldn't call it tan, but I just didn't like the color I got. And I think part of it is, white balance. Also, this is an ICM shot, like an intentional camera movement shot. So, uh, yeah, okay, very good. And then Enrique sent this one. This was already edited. It's a JPEG. I wouldn't change anything here, really. But I think you just wanted to show this one. Maybe you meant to send the original for me to edit, and then this was the to edit, or maybe I did edit it and forgot. I don't know. But yeah, this looks good. A nice close-up shot here. Almost macro, but it's probably about a half to one. So I guess it's still considered a macro. That looks good. Okay, so let me go to the chat section and catch up with the chat here. Today I'm working with only two screens, so I wasn't able to keep the chat window up at the same time as the editing. I haven't been watching what you guys have been saying. Let me go back up to, oh yeah, that's where the blue screen came in. That's weird. I don't know why it just flips. I might have to do an update or something. And Pulse is very similar to mine. I just removed some of the background trees. Okay. Around the beak. Oh, yeah, that makes sense on your duck picture. And let's see. And Dr. Matthew says, hello, Rob. Just to let you know that I checked in to support your excellent work. Again, I'm afraid I can't stay. We'll watch in the morning. Okay, uh, Dr. Matthew C. Grant, thank you so much. What an incredible name and title there, right? It's so powerful. But thank you so much. I appreciate you checking in, and we'll see you on the back end. And Jeff says, oh, I like your edit. Oh, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. And yes, the background looks really good. Okay, I assume that's about the deer. Uh, and Rob, in this image with the deer, due to the clipped highlights, I think it would look better in black and white. Potentially. Let me see if I can find that. That's that. Okay, here's my edit. Oh, you guys aren't seeing this. So here's my edit. So what Dr. Matthew C. Grant is suggesting is to go black and white. So let's just do a quick eyeball on that. Yeah, that's not bad. I kind of like the color better. I think bringing out and I'm always partial to black and white, but I think I was able to saturate the colors in the background. And I think I just prefer the color on this image. But the black and white's not bad. It would need slightly different processing, maybe a little more pull on the black. Like pull on the highlight or push. I don't know. Anyway, black and white looks pretty good. Then we'll just do sort of a white vignette like that. And I think that would look pretty good. The vignette should be a lot stronger. Just a little bit further back. Something like that. And that's not bad either. Okay, that's a good suggestion. And let's see, we have more on this image. How about using a 4x5 crop instead of square? Let the plants lean into the negative space. Can't remember what image you're referring to there. Maybe if it's the same one with the deer, if we do both your suggestions, black and white and 5x4, I don't know. I don't know. Kind of looks the same to me, but sorry I missed that one. Okay. Sorry, I was trying. This is the 5x4. I don't know if he was referring to this image or not at this point. Okay. Where did the chat window go? And Kate thinks a little bit heavy-handed on the background. Okay. And Paul says, oh, I got your duck. I got it, I think. Plants on the log. Dang it. I'm sorry I couldn't see your comments. Oh, the plants on the log is the 5x4. Okay. Michael says, I uploaded a photo. Hope you find it. Okay, I'll take a look. So you're referring to the plants on the log. You want this to be a 5x4. Why am I? Okay. Oh, yeah. I like that. I do like that a little better. And maybe just a little bit more on the left side. Yep, very good. I like that a lot better. Because the square crop, yeah, the square crop didn't quite feel right, but this looks really good. I don't know if you're referring to this one also about the black and white, but black and white doesn't work for me here. I like the color. Okay, let's see. What else are you guys up to? Okay, I uploaded, uh, yeah, so Dr. Matthew C. Grant is saying, yeah, the 5x4, excellent suggestion, and the color is better. That works. Michael and oh, I didn't compare your okay. So I meant I was heavy-handed on my edit of the mountains. Oh, okay, got it. And then Paul says you missed my duck comparison, I think you're referring to, right? I sorry, my chat's just all over the place. Yes, the comparison with your edit and mine. Okay, let me see if I can find that. Uh, go to oh, here it is. I did miss it. My bad. Let me download that one. Into the same folder. And okay, so we'll make this the reference. This is okay, so this is yeah, this is Paul's edit on the right. This was my edit on the left. So yeah, it's pretty close. I just pulled the blacks in a little more. And you went pretty heavy. There's a lot of shine here on the duck. But overall, it's pretty much the same edit. That's because the original image was already pretty good. So there wasn't much to edit other than to bring the duck out. So I think you did a good job overall bringing the duck out. And I see what you mean about removing the branches around the duck's beak. That does help a little bit. Um, but yeah, a lot of the same ideas here. The eyes have been brought out, and yep, brighten the duck as well because the original image, the duck was pretty dark. So a lot of similarities there. Okay, hope I'm not influencing you guys too much because I really want you guys to you know go with your do your own creative choices in your editing. I'm just here to kind of show you the tools. I'm not critiquing or judging anything. I'm just trying to showing you the tools of DxO and how I would edit it. Uh, so I'm showing you the tools by example, but in no way am I critiquing what you guys are doing. Is my stream still up? Well, I'm so used to working with 3 monitors at a time. It's hard when I go down to just 2. Uh, my other monitor is getting a little flaky. I mean, it is like 10 or 15 years old, but getting a little flaky. Okay. Yeah, almost an identical crop. And Roger's asking, do you have a video of how to set up the sequential shots of the moon using the computational features? No, I do not. I do not. I mean, there's a lot of ways to, what you want to do is see the various stages of the moon, right? Uh, for the lunar eclipse that we had, it was this morning. But yeah, sorry, I don't have anything on the moon. Maybe I'm sure there's someone has it out there, but I don't have one, unfortunately. It's not something I've ever done myself, but okay. So, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for sending your images to edit. It's always a pleasure and honor to edit your images, and I appreciate it. And it was really cool to see what you guys did with my image. Some of them were very similar to what I did, or at least the black and whites. I went with a black and white. I posted it somewhere. But I'm thinking about doing a panorama type video because I did some panoramas last night and I posted a couple of them, I think, to my Instagram. But uh, DxO doesn't have photo stitching software in it. So I've been using the free software called Hugin, Hugin, to stitch my panoramas together, and it's doing a pretty good job. So I got a very basic workflow down. So I wanted to do a short video just to get people started using that software. I don't know how to use all of the fancy stuff in there about blending and HDR and all that, but just to do simple panels and stitch things together, I can show you how to do that. It works pretty well. And also how to edit the whatchamacallit. Uh I can't remember. My brain. I'm done. So thank you. Thanks again. I appreciate all your support through the memberships and donations and all of that and using the affiliate links. Those things all help me out a great deal. So you guys have a great weekend, and I'll be back on Sunday, I believe, for normal photo chat, uh, and we'll talk about photography. So thanks again, and I'll see you again soon.